Hot tip number 1 for a hot May Day festival. Avoid remote and secluded islands whose economy is dependent entirely on agriculture. Hot tip number 2 for a hot May Day festival. Learn how to act. It's not going to save you in the end, but it'll be a lot more enjoyable for those who have to watch your fate unfold. We watched The Wicker Man and The Wicker Man.
Ah, the French champagne.
Champagne!
The schlocky movie from this week may be the schlockiest film we've ever seen on this podcast.
I'm Mr. Pink.
Sis Blue.
So Miranda hasn't seen Reservoir Dogs.
Those men's children are all identical clones of Adolf Hitler.
Once they were men, now they are land crabs.
Amanda Bynes is a national treasure.
There's like a bunch of other shit that happens in Driven.
Is there?
Secret Nazis.
Yeah.
Secret Nazis.
And Daddy lost his eagle.
I hope
So-
no one from my family listens to this podcast.
The Citizen Kane of the week is...
Hey, you. Welcome back to another episode of Citizen Kane versus. This is a bi-weekly podcast sometimes, meaning that we are bi-curious as a podcast.
I've thought about banging both of you at one point or another.
Nice.
Yeah.
Does that make me bi-curious or just friend curious?
Hot for friends.
Hot for friends.
Yeah.
I think there's a word for
It's
that
our next
too.
podcast.
Hot for friends.
Hot for friends. That's definitely a podcast already.
Yeah.
If you're unfamiliar with the pod, essentially the way it works here is that we take a movie that's considered to be more on the classic side of the spectrum and we compare it to something on the schlocky side of the spectrum, linked by some sort of link, whether it be a remake of of sorts. Not know if it's a remake, but it's a newer adaptation.
But like a Hollywood rebranding.
Yeah, Hollywood
Yeah.
rebranding, or an actor or whatever, and then we just say which one is better. My name is Jack Rennie, and I'm joined by my two very bangable friends. One.
Banger brother Sean.
Fuckable Dan.
Hey, and welcome back. So we have, as we were kind of hinting on, we have a good mix. It is I didn't know this had a classic version of it,
Yeah.
which was fun. So when you kind of pitched that, Sean, last week, I really didn't actually know. So it was fun to see it. I just thought this was a weird. I heard about the schlocky version of Wicker Man.
Yeah, we've all seen that Nick Cage overreaction clip on YouTube.
Yeah, which we learned watching it was cut from the movie.
Yeah, like most of it is straight from The Wicker Man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Like-
the scene is gone, yeah.
Like they cut that scene, the whole not
Yeah.
the bees, oh God, they're in my eyes.
Cut from the DVD release.
DVD
yeah.
release.
Which I kind of agree with on a rewatch of the YouTube video.
It is the weakest visual scene.
It is definitely, it drags on way too long, and there is something rather impactful about it all just being kind of like a soundscape over them approaching the Wicker Man.
If it had been used, well, we'll get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like a funny thing for it to be famous for a scene that isn't in the movie
Right.
or in the digital release, whatever you want
Yeah,
to call it.
right.
So, but and then I didn't know about the original one, which was fun.
Yeah, I had no idea that this was a remake.
Well, welcome to your new life.
So now when someone goes,
Killed Dan, I guess.
yeah, he got him.
Whoops.
With that singer. No, but now when someone goes, oh, have you seen The Wicker Man? We can all go, which one?
Which one?
Which one do you mean? Do you mean the Christopher Lee 1973 film? Or do you mean the Neil LaBute written and directed?
Or Ritual, the novel upon which the original was based.
The Schaefer? The Schaefer piece?
The Schaefer or the LaBute,
The LaBute.
as we walk through the Playwright Hall of Fame.
When do we get to talk about the buteness of this at any point? Should we?
Yeah, of
is
course,
that-
it's
is that
all-
for
that's
a
all
cate-
story
that's
and
a-
production.
That's okay, great.
Yeah.
Good. Just making sure we make time for that. So yeah. I had a good time watching these movies. I'll say that in my own way.
I loved every moment of this week.
It was fun. I don't know. I'll say this. I think pre rounds. I don't know if I would have liked watching the Nick Cage one as much if I hadn't watched it together with you right now.
Agreed.
Whereas I didn't mind watching the other one alone.
Yeah.
I kind of feel the opposite.
You wish we weren't with you watching the Nick Cage
I
one.
never
Wow,
like being around you guys. No, I feel like of the two, the other one, the original, is definitely more of a weird fever dream of a film that can be
Yeah.
enjoyed with friends.
Communally?
Nick Cage, was that?
Communal. You want to watch the original Wicker Man with like friends.
Get the popcorn out.
Get the popcorn out. One
Get
hand
the
in the
kids.
pants. No, but I mean, like, it's just it's such a weirder movie. Nick Cage, any Nick Cage movie is fun to watch with people, but like,
Well, yeah.
like I don't know. I feel like I could have watched that one easier on my own. I feel
Right.
like the other one would have been more of a romp with you guys because it's so fucking bizarre. like
Sure
the I feel like the Nick Cage version is actually a more normal movie.
It's
With
not
the
as it's
exception
not as
of Nick
adventurous a
Cage.
movie.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's
Yeah.
a very like it feels very Hollywood kind of formulaic in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And Nick Cage is like the one ingredient that kind of spices it up, as
Yeah.
opposed to the other one, which feels rather experimental.
Yeah.
Experimental being a great word to describe it. I think that it really has that like end of the hippie era, like happening style version of a movie.
Yeah.
Where it's like we're gonna highlight how scared you are of our movement with this weird occult film. But yeah, all I'm saying is I would have enjoyed watching it together too. I'm just trying to say I don't know if I could have watched the Nick Cage one.
Alone?
I think I could. Of course I could have, but
It's
I
too
think
intense for you, right?
it's like, you know me. I get overwhelmed by
Yeah.
a great.
Yeah. You're allergic to bees too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you really?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
Is anyone allergic to bees anymore?
Marisa might be.
Well, let's test that theory.
Well,
Might
she
be?
Yeah. She's convinced that she's outgrown the allergy, and therefore
It happens.
never carries her EpiPen with her anywhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a bad gamble.
She apparently at some point got stung by a bee in like her adult life and was fine. So she takes that as I no longer have a bee allergy, which I guess in a lot of ways makes sense.
you can outgrow it.
Yeah.
My mom outgrew it, but she still takes her EpiPen when she goes to the cottage. You know, it's that.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
you never
You know.
know, and you don't want to get caught with your pants down, so to speak.
Yeah.
Should I hold my mic like this?
Yeah. For all those listening, Dan's holding the mic like a douche.
Can you kind of cradle it in your arm a bit more, like it's a baby?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Does that work?
Kiss the baby. Okay, don't kiss the baby. This isn't ASMR.
Don't kiss the baby. That's my mom's number one rule in raising me.
Without any further ado.
All right, well, perfect. Well, now that you got a taste of what these movies are, let's do our fun little boxing themed intro to catch up a little bit more on what these movies are sort of about. See you in a sec. Bing ding.
In the red corner, representing the classics, when a devout police officer receives a letter about a missing girl on a mysterious island, he finds himself wrapped in a twisted plot that threatens not only his life, but his faith. Will he make it out alive, or will the islanders succeed in their harvest ritual to bring back their apples? Coming in at 87 minutes, starring Edward Woodward and Christopher Lee, The Wicker Man. And in the blue corner, representing the schlock, when a notably unreligious police officer receives a letter about a missing girl on a mysterious island, he finds himself wrapped in a twisted plot that threatens not only his life, but his patience. Will he punch enough women to make it out alive, or will the islanders succeed in their harvest ritual to bring back their bees? Coming in at 102 minutes, starring Nicolas Cage and Ellen Burstyn, The Wicker Man, the newer one.
And we're back from the intros.
Yeah.
Great job, Jack, as always.
Hey, thanks.
That's some really good stuff. I feel like I was in the arena.
I just try and like create an environment. You know what I mean? Like my goal is to generate like a world in the listener's brain with the words and how
Oh, hey guys, sorry.
and how I say that. So let's get into the podcast part of the podcast and begin our now 3 rounds with our first round, which is you get the story good.
Ding, ding, ding.
I believe it's pronounced bing,
Bing, ding, ding. Really bing, ding. Okay. So the movies share a vibe, right? Clearly, there's like the rural commune vibe.
Yep.
I think is interestingly done in different movies. I was particularly interested because the I don't know what I'm talking about. Someone else say something.
I really want to hear you.
Yeah.
I think I was talking about a production thing, and
But we're in story.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
it's the
just
same story for
hammered.
both,
It's the
except
same story.
except different, mild. Well,
Mildly different, and it's weird because like the first one has some odd story elements that I thought Neil LaBute would get. Not even story elements, like literal word for word lines of dialogue
yeah.
that didn't work the first time around, and yet he decided to keep them in the remake that I didn't really understand.
Is they're iconic or something? I don't know how much of a cult following the original had by the time that the Cage one was made, but
You thought they lines that didn't work in the first one? I thought they worked all right in what that movie was
yeah,
being.
the apples line actually worked pretty well. Killing me won't bring back your apples. I was like, he kind of sold it. Way to go, man.
Yeah.
Is that what he said in the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. It was stuff like the
Like the teacher being like
the
Yeah.
the hunter being the hunted. Oh shit.
You had one job.
I did it right the first time.
Okay.
Yeah, that stuff wasn't
Yeah,
that
just
stuff
like
is- is not good, you're right.
I don't know. It just felt like we're already taking liberties to change certain things, like the reason why he's there, or like the reason why they chose him. They removed the entire like rabbit element in the new one.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it just feels like
And the religion. Like
and the religion.
the thing that makes the first movie what it is, the like whole central meaning of the entire first film they got, because I assume they wanted to reach a like wider audience, and they were like, if we make this a Christianity versus like animist cultic stuff, they're gonna get mad in the Midwest.
Well, exactly. That's the thing too, where the first movie really does seem like it's made by people of the hippie generation who were like about free love, and definitely got treated by the conservative Christian right
Yeah.
that they were heathens and pagans, and words they probably wouldn't have minded, but they wanted to throw it in their face. So they made a sort of spoopy version of how they are perceived by that thing, and had the hero be an ambassador of that world. But really, he's the fool. Is the whole point? Is that he's the fool?
Well, I'm curious to know who that character is in the book, in the source material. It
It's about a
conservative
puritanical
Christian cop?
who goes to investigate the disappearance of a young girl in this remote island community.
right?
Lines that I'm really glad made it to the remake are him going, "You're all a bunch of liars." Huh? You're all a bunch of little liars. And you're the biggest liar of all, Sister Rose.
But this is what I mean. Like, yes, it's hilarious.
You're a bunch of liars.
But like, it seemed like they were trying to take this. It didn't seem like they were trying to be tongue in cheek in this film. Like they were trying to take it pretty seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why not? Like Neil LaBute is a playwright.
Yeah.
Like he should.
Like,
he-
I argue after this movie that he's barely a writer.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
What
but this is my okay. So I can't for the life of me remember a famous Neil LaBute play at the moment. So throw one out. Anybody?
The Shape of Water. No.
Shape of Things.
Shape of Things.
Great.
Yeah.
One of my favorite plays. It's simple.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, it's. I feel like
Fat Pig.
what's that?
Fat Pig.
Fat Pig.
Yeah.
Is that a play?
It is play.
Oh, is it
And
really?
you. But
That's fair.
yeah.
I did eat $70 of Pizza Hut last night.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so much. It's
Fat
disgusting.
pig.
I'm a fat pig.
Fat
Fat pig. Oink.
Dr. Thwa.
No,
Dr.
but
Thwa.
this is my point is that I expect better dialogue from somebody like Neil LaBute.
You expect dialogue.
Fair.
People talking to each other, not just like suddenly staring off into the distance and putting on a drone.
The opening bar, like diner scene, where it's like, "Hey, hun, get you any more coffee?" No. That's all.
Aaron Eckhart?
With a little
Yeah.
cameo with Mr. Eckhart there.
Yeah, well, yeah, we knew from the first line we were in trouble when it came to
I can't believe
dialogue.
that was Aaron Eckhart.
Yeah.
For half a second.
And then like the worst like low tier theater performance level thing where they take Lord Summer Isles monologue where he monologues at our protagonist in the original and they break it up amongst the different like secondary female leads in the crowd and it's like, you might have noticed that you're here at a convenient time. Yes, Sir Knight.
Oh God, the
know
Don
what-
Quixote edition made me want to throw up.
Yeah, that went over my head because I'm not familiar with that story. I actually didn't mind the breaking up of the dialogue.
No,
because
man.
because then
Ew.
it makes it more of a communal effort as opposed to just Sister Summer Isle.
Yuck. And maybe
it
if
was
they'd
like-
done it well.
Fair.
Yeah,
That's a
maybe
fair point.
if like the people knew how to like say lines.
Yeah.
I was a pretty big fan of how the story was executed in the original.
Yeah.
It's like actually really well done. I think.
I think so. I think they like there are a lot of hiccups and there's some
Yeah.
amount of like okay for the sake of it.
But how they tell the story in the different ways, and like it's like there's stuff in the remake that are just like, oh my God, like the way the community people talk to each other, that they're just like, did you tend to that issue at the dock?
At the docks?
Wink, wink. And she's like, oh yes, it's all taken care of. It's like, fuck me. Whereas like I loved it also lost all the sexuality, which was so interesting.
I
in the
know,
first
and so
movie.
pivotal. It's a fucking birth like regeneration festival.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's supposed to be testing him and his puritanical
his
beliefs.
his religious beliefs. Yeah,
The fact that he's a virgin before marriage and
right.
stuff.
They couldn't like right away. They got rid of him being a virgin in the Nick Cage one because like I guess Nick Cage can't be a virgin in a film or
Gotta
something.
fuck.
He's got to fuck.
No one would believe it.
Yeah, yeah. He's like,
Not that guy.
oh, he's got a child. Okay, well he fucked.
Yeah,
at least once.
And doing all that with it, it's like seems like a classic writer's mistake, sort of, where it's like, it's just that it's so rote that it's like I'll make this more important
Yeah.
by being like they're related. It's his daughter. Like you know what I mean? It's,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
this
Why?
obvious ploy to increase
Yeah.
the urgency of it. Where it was nice that it was just it really was Sir Knight more in the
Yeah.
first movie because he has no connection to the place.
Right.
It's not his kids who he has to care. He's just like a kid is missing.
Yeah.
You know that he is playing a hero's part in his movie.
Well, the first one, I think, in how they tell the story, what they do really well that the new one doesn't do at all is they implicate you in the officer. They do give you moments where you are like, yeah, go find the child murderers, Sir Knight, hurrah.
Yeah.
And then he turns around and starts spieling about God and about like rules and society and how things are supposed to be. And you're like, fuck, I do that, don't I? Crap. Okay. Whereas in the new one, it's like Nick Cage is an asshole to everyone at all times. And then he runs to the next scene.
Then he
Or
jogs
bikes.
through the forest.
Or he bikes.
Or he bikes.
Bikes halfway. He does a little triathlon to the next scene. He does run, bike, and swim.
He does run, bike, and swim.
This is his Olympic audition.
This is it. But just like I found the new one really spun its wheels in a way that I didn't understand, especially when the source material doesn't. And like, well, I guess it is because here's the thing. It's weird, as you were kind of hinting at, that they didn't want to offend the Midwest.
Yeah.
That the second movie is like way more puritanical in its deliverance of this movie.
Totally.
Which is so interesting, given the nature of the first. Like, what a bad way to adapt that. Whereas, like, some of the things I loved the most about the first movie was the weird relationship with the innkeeper's daughter.
Yeah.
And
their sexual arousal through the wall scene.
That whole business was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But I love the first scene where it's just like Christopher Lee shows up with this young man, and he's like,
Yeah.
innkeeper's daughter, I bring an offering to you. And it's like this like young man, and everyone watches, and there's this weird thing where they're playing music and listening and looking, and it's like, so it's just it's telling this story and we're getting an energy and a vibe without being like, ah, yes, the bees give us nutrients.
Yeah, like
Like
in the
it's-
original, there would have had to be a scene where all the girls are standing around going, "Apples bring us life. Life brings us apples." Ah."
Yeah.
I mean, there was some like child singing in unison of like spooky stuff, but
But they didn't
In the
play it as
first one.
spooky,
Yeah.
which was
Yeah.
why it worked. They played
Yeah.
it just as like an odd community. They did their weird maypole dance
Yeah.
with the quirky teacher who's like, becomes a man, becomes a grave, and
Right.
the grave becomes the hoe. Like this Simon and Garfunkel version of a cult.
yes,
So, so I liked that in terms of how it communicated like the world to us and seeing him as an outsider to it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like this is like, you walk into the new Summers aisle and you're like, oh, I'm at a cult.
Yeah, something is definitely amiss here.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I guess the quirky teacher brings up the point of the first one definitely making it more of like a harmonious community that you were the outsider in, as opposed to the
Yeah.
cult vibe where
there are mutilated people that are just integrated in society.
which you don't really get an explanation for. Like
No,
like you can extrapolate that the men likely have had their tongues removed, for example,
They never say
but they
it.
never really explain that. They just
Yeah.
so I don't know if that guy in the bar was mutilated or deaf.
yeah,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely a much more eerie, kind of on the nose vibe. I do wish that they had played some of the moments in the first one a little more eerily once we kind of knew where we were, once we knew what was going on. But generally, I think you're right. I think that they could have played it a lot slower, let's say,
yeah,
in the new one.
yeah.
Just like they just had weird details. Like they were trying to play spooky and then they never got spooky. So like they had the thing I left out when we were watching it where it's like no one can go to the island. You can't get there. It's super reclusive.
Right.
And then then the fact that there's an inn makes no fucking
Yeah.
sense. Why would there be an inn if you're not allowed to be there?
I think they had that same feature in the first one though, because
No, they're not like they don't say it's private property. They're just like, oh, you must be like nobody comes around here. Why would you get out?
No, they said that I remember when he first lands in the water, they say something like you need permission to land here, or this is private property, or something when they're yelling across the water.
They do yell. There's the idea of like the permission. You need permission. It is somewhat there. It's hard to explain, but it's just done differently.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it doesn't make sense.
It's just a bunch of like daft old fishermen,
Right.
Who are like, well, I don't know, I don't think you're allowed over here. Compared to like, no one is allowed on the island.
They're like, why are you here? Be gone.
Be gone with ye, Violet.
As opposed to them being like, oh, I'd have to check with the boss.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm just a dummy. I don't know how to get.
Right.
And because they seem
Yeah.
like they're fucking with him, like, oh, what now? I need a dinghy.
yeah.
Oh well, best he can row you back. Take you about a week. Like they're just like, oh.
And the
fuck.
difference is that scene makes you be like, oh, it's just a nice little English town. Nothing to like worry about here, really. No red flags in the film yet.
Yeah.
And
A
then
couple
the other,
jagoffs, but like.
yeah. And the other one was like, okay, there's like 1,000 red flags going off. The suspense is killed now because
There's
you
like
hit it in scene 4.
A struggling bloody sack is produced pretty quickly. That like they still never
They
explain.
never look at it. And then he's in the sack at the end. I guess that.
Yeah.
Is that?
bad.
Oh, I guess is that the idea? No, that can't be the idea though. That can't be the connection because
No,
it's
because
only festival
yeah.
time that they do that, right?
Yeah.
Should have timed that better.
No, I think you nailed it.
Bing ding.
But
There it
ding, bing,
What a big ding. You know?
dicks.
We skipped over.
Yeah, well,
that.
they kept that phallic thing, which now no longer makes sense. Whereas in the first movie, it makes sense because it's all about
It's about a
fertility.
patriarchal,
Right.
yeah, in a like patriarchal society, and they kept the dicks thing in the matriarchal society. I don't know.
Like, it's not a good adaptation. Neil, look,
Dicks,
Neil.
dicks.
Dicks, lots of dicks. Dicks for chicks, and chicks love dicks. We're kids. We'll see you after these ads. And we're back. Backety back. Jumping into our second round, which is production. Good? So good.
Oh, so good.
So good. Not so good, but I mean, yeah.
I mean,
You're about to talk.
generally, I think the production is undoubtedly better in the remake. In terms of production value,
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
like they have
I
a
see what we're
nicer,
talking
newer
about
camera.
now.
Yes, okay.
they have a newer. Well, even in terms of like, there is there's something about cinema specifically from the UK, I find, that is cheap is the wrong word, but it's the word I'll use. It feels cheap in the way they like compose shots, the way things are lit. It just feels a little lower budget. And this movie for sure, the original, definitely has a lower budget.
Yeah.
But it also felt very much like something that comes out of the UK in the way that it was in the style that it was shot.
Can I tell you where I really felt that? Because I know that I
Sure.
know the energy you're talking about.
Yeah.
I thought the outdoor stuff looked really nice. Mostly, like not really nice, but it looked nice enough.
Sometimes, yeah.
So like the beginning of just like a plane going, nice scenic views at the beginning, very classic movie beginning, where like lovely bits of Scotland, and then when it cuts to him entering,
so repetitive though, but continue.
yeah. But what it's like the opening of a movie from the 70s.
Sure.
But when he finally enters the like tavern inn, and it switches to that interior and how that's lit and how it's like, it's not a room that's built to shoot in. They're shooting in a room that existed.
Right.
So like you can tell the camera is like tucked in the corner and it can't quite frame things well, and the lighting is shit. And like I was like, ooh, woof. Like
Yeah.
when he walked into that place.
Yeah. And well, yeah.
In terms of just pure aesthetic, but
But
I didn't care that
it was
much.
also weird because the movie kind of, I don't know if I'm using this word right, but vacillated between,
Okay.
is that,
Keep going.
oscillated.
is it oscillated?
That's like a fan.
Went back and forth
Yeah.
between some really beautiful shots, both indoor and out,
Yeah.
and some shots that looked like they were performed by like the most amateur of amateurs. And that was a weird disconnect for me.
Yeah.
Because to me, it felt like they never actually quite landed on like an aesthetic tone.
Fair enough, I think.
Yeah. I think back then, like, filming outside versus filming indoors or like in a set is wildly different for your light. And back then, they just didn't have that. Obviously, the equipment that we
Yeah,
have now to make it look.
But it's also just the way that you frame a shot.
Yeah.
Like that is a lot of what goes into
That
cinematography.
last shot in the original where the head burns and falls forward and then follows into the sun, and they tried to recreate it in their own way in the new one, and it
Yeah.
just falls into the camera.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Like, don't even try.
That shot was particularly impressive because I imagine they only got one shot at it.
Right? Yeah. And they had to like storyboard the fuck out of it and be like,
Yeah.
the sun is definitely going to be over there at this time, so we got to hit this shot now. Blah.
I'll say of the remake, I thought like the general aesthetic was fine, served the purpose.
Very bland.
Bland, but
Yeah.
like the world is simple, Amish-like, but it like where
be
they
the-
were felt right,
The Midwest or the Western equivalent.
it seemed really like idyllic in its own way, and the weird beekeeper outfits were a cool costume design, simple and not
Yeah.
overdone. Like it was clean enough. It was like the actual filming of scenes that sucked. The shot reverse shot felt so present in this movie. Like
So much walking.
It wasn't like a hidden edit. It was like
Right.
You could like hear the cuts. It was
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that it definitely had like the production design, for example, was definitely more cohesive. It felt more to me. It felt more like everything was part of the same unified vision that they had established prior. Like they knew what they were going for going in.
Yeah, I think so.
And it felt like the original lacked that. It felt like the original felt more like we landed in Scotland yesterday and we're gonna figure this shot out on the day.
But here's the thing: I kind of like that side of the first movie more.
It drove me
though.
nuts. It drove me nuts.
No, but that's what I like, that it just feels like a community.
Yeah.
Again, it's not off-putting right away. Like the new one feels a bit put on, and so even
Sure.
like the costumes are like made too well. You know
Oh
what I
my
mean?
god, yeah. These
They're like proper theatrical, like they're doing fucking Swan Lake.
yeah, instead of
And-
things that were like stitched together by a rural farming community.
Yeah.
I mean that is.
It's a real gripe for me.
Are we talking about like the festival costumes? Or
Yes.
yeah. Okay. That is one thing that I did prefer in the original one, is that it felt much more like a whimsical, kind of like simple festival as opposed to
There
this
wasn't
one.
even a prancing guy on a horse.
Yeah.
In the new one is all
Bullshit.
I'm saying.
They had some version of that though. I forget what it was, but they
It
had.
was just her. The procession.
Oh,
procession.
the procession
When you
sans
compare the
music?
processions with the first one, it's like 70 people maybe that they have
Yeah.
together, and it's all choreographed. And Christopher Lee is like high kick dancing his way. He's doing his best like
Twirling
Highlands
and
dance
skipping,
stuff.
yeah.
Right.
He's having a fucking ball. Everyone is pulling it, and in the new one, they're all just kind of like swaying back and forth
Arms
and like
forwards, arm
flailing
back.
well,
their arms
well,
a
this
bit.
goes back to Jack's point earlier about them being so heavy-handed about the ominous tone of
Yeah.
the new one, as opposed to the first one, where it's people who like take a real enjoyment, like they get joy out of doing
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
and this whole aspect of their community and their culture and their festival, right? I love the moment where is it Christopher Lee who's the lead, who's the cop?
No,
He's-
Christopher Lee is Lord Summersisle.
Lord Summersisle. When the cop first joins the procession, and Lord Summersisle is like, "You call that dancing? Dance more, boy, dance!" Whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like, you've been late. Have you been drinking at your tavern again?
yeah,
It starts ripping on him because he
Yeah.
knows who it is.
yeah. That kind of stuff I thought was fine, or was fun rather.
Him at the piano. I'm sorry, his costumes
Oh,
are incredible.
Ooh, the frilly
Of
neck
any
and
costume,
cuff.
including
Yes.
the bear suit.
Yes.
His little cravat as he's at the piano and his
And Miss
oh.
Rose is lying on a little quilt on
Oh.
the floor for some reason.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
that was a weird
I
tie-in.
Yeah.
loved that scene.
But I like that they went for weird more than spoopy.
Yeah.
Or ominous.
Yes.
Even. They were just like, it's
Yes.
weird here. Again, leaning into that message about like the hippie movement, I think, of like, we just do things differently.
Yeah.
We let go of those things, and we do it different. Mm-hmm. Okay, sorry, but while we have time, which movie do you think had better music? Which
Ooh,
music?
the first one.
No, the
man.
score. No,
Touch
man.
my hand.
That
Listen,
I couldn't.
There's some
No, but
rough
it's a
ones.
couldn't
choice.
I know it was a choice, but in
I-
my mind, it was the wrong choice.
Dude.
I couldn't
No,
stomach it.
The
It
remake
was-
score did nothing for the movie. It just was like
It's
strings
nothing.
at times, and it covered like
It's
the
certainly-
procession scene should have the diegetic music of them playing and
Agreed.
dancing and
Agreed.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And yes, it is far more generic in the first one, without a doubt. But like when he rescues air quotes rescues the Rowan from the festival in the first one,
yeah.
and instead of like they go with like this weird like synth metal
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, it's 1973, baby.
No, man, it felt so out of place. It
Oh.
felt so out of
Put
place.
it in
I
my veins.
The music.
man.
I had no idea what I was supposed to feel in that moment. It was confusing.
Look, I think regardless of whether or not you liked it more or less or whatever, I think it's hard to argue with the fact that music played a part in the first movie. It was a part of that movie.
It was almost a musical.
It had so much music in it.
Yes, which
It had like 3 or 4 full singing numbers.
Like yeah, and like some dancing numbers too.
Yeah.
Like,
which I felt, I guess, fit for the most part, because that is kind of like a cultural element.
Yeah.
The one outlier being the weird almost sexual encounter between the landlord's daughter.
They're definitely pushing further with it.
they
then.
push every single one of those musical numbers. I started going, "Oh no, this is going to be terrible," and they won me over.
Yeah.
including that one.
I agree.
Every single
The only
time.
one that won
agree.
me over was the quirky teacher. That felt like
Yes!
Boy
That
becomes a man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man becomes a grave.
It felt like it should have almost been out of like Princess Bride or something. Like it was
Yeah,
so
yeah. It was
weird.
wild.
I was thinking more like what's that Australian show about the guy who does all the characters, the Sunshine.
The one at the high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he plays one of those is the drama teacher.
Yeah.
He reminded me of that character. Like, all right, students, let's sing our song about birth today. And a boy becomes a man, and the grape becomes a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the rest of it, yeah, I don't know, man. Like I get that it is a community that it's a festive community.
Yeah, well, they have nightly fuck parties in the graveyard, so I'd say so.
Which the cop like
He looked over and was like, "Well, nothing to see here."
yeah, what is up with that?
I would have liked a bit more of something. I know that he was like just trying to be repressive.
Yeah.
I thought what I didn't mind them all just fucking in the grass. That was worked fine enough. I didn't quite understand why there was also a fully naked woman weeping, sitting next to a grave.
That, yeah.
Like that
and,
one, I feel like I didn't get an explanation.
and then
for.
the breastfeeding mother holding a single egg.
Yeah, like there are a couple things that the first movie
That was a bit
just
much.
like this,
That was a
this
bit
is
much.
weird,
Yeah.
eh?
Yeah.
But I was like, hey, you didn't quite back that one up.
Right. Well, I mean,
And this, can you imagine Christopher Lee was like, even the woman breastfeeding with the egg in the church was meticulously planned. Everything. Which both movies can eat shit about. But more so the second one.
How so?
The first one, the whole plot of like, we planned this and we led you. The first movie earns it a bit.
Yeah, the
more.
second one was just
The
like,
second one's like,
trust us.
like she went out to find you for years and even your co-police. I was like, okay, but now you're
And then we set up a traffic accident where we put some of our members in the car, but then when you weren't looking, we pulled them out of the car and you thought they died.
But see, though that element confused me because I still don't understand how the cop and the mom and daughter played a role in getting him to the island.
Which mom and daughter? Oh, like
The mom and daughter in the car that explodes.
the trauma to help a young girl.
Yeah, they're there. Like, yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, because if he were a normal police officer and got that letter, he still would have probably gone. Like I don't.
But I think they're trying to make it certain. So
I
they're
guess, but how does that?
Because for an American audience, more so than others, there has to be personal risk in order for someone to act heroically.
Right. Okay. Fine. But how is there an added personal risk?
Because it's
With-
his love's daughter, and then it becomes his daughter.
No,
so
that's
he is
not.
personally
That's
implicated.
not what I'm
but
saying.
you're saying why does the family getting hurt at the beginning?
Yeah, and
Oh, why
what
does
role
that?
does his female cop friend play? Like
I-
that to me just seems like
she probably gave him the letter.
Oh,
delivered the
she
letters?
hands
Oh
a
yeah,
stack
because it
of
was
letters.
within
It had no
the
stamp.
right.
Right.
It had
Yeah.
no stamp, so she gave that. She delivered it to him.
She probably spiked his meds, I'm guessing, or something too. Yeah,
Oh, that's
because she picks up the bottle.
Yeah,
It's like,
I
maybe.
guess.
Maybe.
And is the
So this organization also has people living permanent lives
Yeah,
out in the world like that.
it's the Church of Scientology
oh,
Yeah.
oh.
or Mormonism. Take your
Yeah.
off-brand cult sect.
I won't.
well, but that was the thing that kind of stood out and ruined it a little bit for me was the fact that they have they actively engage with the outside world in the new version, which they are more of just an isolated community that can only contact people via
and so like are
carrier pigeon or whatever in the first one.
and they implied that they have an incredible amount of savvy that like the Volkswagen that they crashed, it was like unregistered.
Right. Yeah.
So-
So they have a bunch of unregistered vehicles that they send out, and
It's not easy to get an
And they-
unregistered vehicle.
Well,
they
I
also
mean,
get someone to
only-
drive a truck. They train truck drivers to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of their dopey man servants.
Yeah.
I will say the only way he gets that information that the car was unregistered is just by the cop plant saying that. So that could very well have not been
Not
true.
from his computer screen with the gun picture on it.
Different cop. Different cop.
Also, I liked when Nick Cage just started punching people in the face and karate kicking them in the face.
Yes, that is the
Yeah.
final good production element.
Kung Fu Cage.
Well, I mean, let's let that note bridge us into our third round, which is acting. Good. So yeah, dope kicks to the face,
Sick.
dope bear punches. to the face.
Oh, baby.
When he punched that girl in his bear costume.
Yeah, he punched a couple people in his bear costume.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember that punching lasting a lot longer. Like I remember him punching way more people in the clips that I've seen of this movie.
Yeah.
This is my first time watching this movie.
Same.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah, I never seen it.
But I've seen that clip.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I thought that he just like goes through the town punching every
Well,
woman he
so he
sees.
punches the bar owner,
Yeah.
Right.
And then the
high
younger
kicks her daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in
Is that
the
her
face.
daughter?
Fucking full like
or like
Someone,
the
yeah.
barmaid.
Yeah.
like a front like a high front kick to the face.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't punch the school teacher. He just draws his gun on her,
Right. And he steals her bike.
steals
Yeah.
her bike,
Yeah.
Give me the bike.
which seems to be the same bike that he had earlier.
I was
think
gonna
they
say,
only
where
had
did
one
his other
bike.
bike go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
They
It was
planned
the bees
bike
took it.
meticulously.
Yeah,
bees
the
took
bees
it.
take the bikes away.
Yeah.
Even the bike we had placed in certain places for you.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Your transportation, that was funny. So and then he
He punched. There was a woman just standing next to Rowan.
right punched her.
He ran
Right.
somebody
On
in
the
a
way
bear
up.
suit, and he punches her.
And then he punches. He high kicks another person in the
When they're
the
grabbing
circle,
Oh,
and
he
then he
kicks a few
punches
people, yeah.
two more people. So he hits seven women throughout the film.
Right. Right.
I think some of them were men at the end coming in.
Right, that's
towards
true.
him.
That's true.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like he's a feminist. Like
Totally.
he hits men and women.
Yeah. Equality and all that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're in acting now.
Nick Cage, buddy, honestly was trying something.
He's the best actor in the movie.
He is.
Everyone else is awful.
Everyone else is
awful.
terrible.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like this movie is guilty of bad writing and directing more. So, like I feel like it is not the actor's fault. I don't know. Like my gut is telling me that these actors probably came in trying some better stuff.
Yeah.
And then Neil LaBute's like, no, it has to be scarier.
I do feel like there is some concerted effort going on to poison the acting in the film.
It does kind of feel like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just like had low funding and like a low budget, so they just like would do what they thought was like a rehearsal take.
Right.
Like that's
Yeah,
it. We
good
got
enough,
it.
move it on.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, I wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, the woman playing Willow was like, I literally wasn't even doing my teary-eyed thing yet. I was just like kind of looking blankly at him and being like, my daughter is gone.
Yeah. We got two cameras covering it. It's fine. Let's go.
But this is what I mean. Like the scenes between her and Nick Cage feel so contrived.
Just
and
dreadful.
It's painful.
And that
Willow.
the Molly Parker, who's the school teacher, and then the like construction foreman, or whatever, twin. She is so bad, and she's really good in other things I've seen her in. She's so bad.
She's very bad.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, yes, the film loses points for acting for sure,
Yeah.
but I mean, you got to work with what you're given. I feel like the writing is pretty trash in this movie.
Even Ellen Burstyn. Ellen Burstyn is
Is she the one from Requiem for a Dream?
Yes, I think so.
I thought
No,
again,
she
for,
was not
for the,
doing
for the,
anything.
For the movie that she was in,
No.
I thought she actually was doing a fine
she
job.
phoned it in with training, is what that was.
Yeah. Also, I did see that it looked like there were some shots they edited of her, like her reaction shots, which clearly looked like them just choosing shots they thought were like whatever, and they weren't the actual shots of her reacting in the
Yeah,
scene.
but that's editing all the time. That's how so much editing works. It's not always just
I know.
the
So I'm
real
saying
reaction
it
shot.
just looks like it. There was a disservice to
Right. Yeah.
her in like the editing process, but I thought she wasn't the worst one of the terrible group of actors.
Who was the worst one?
Oh, the bar owner.
Rowan. What?
the girl.
The little girl.
The little
The bar
girl?
owner
She
was.
sucked.
I didn't like the bar owner either, but I thought she was at least like
I think was there a line
performing
about
her
that?
task. I thought Willow was hot garbage. I could not stand her face ever.
Well, just the intense lack of any kind of romantic or sexual chemistry between the two actors.
Or just
Yeah.
like a living energy, like a person who's alive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wasn't convinced.
Yeah,
Nothing.
she was kind of rough.
A lot of that's the blocking, though. Like a lot of that is like,
Well, yeah, but
I don't know.
I mean,
Come on, man.
I'm
You're a better
convinced-
actor than that. If someone was like, just stand there and say it, you'd be like,
I
well, that's
know,
all I
you-
have, then I'll fucking make it.
we'll make
shine.
it work. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm convinced this is Neil's fault. Really.
Oh, I think he had a big
Yeah.
part in fucking this up. I thought Franco was pretty good.
Oh my god! And you're saying
James
that one
Franco.
wasn't even in the
That
theatrical
was not
release,
in
right?
the epilogue.
I
It's
wonder if they shot that after the movie. Like, I wonder if like
probably
I
they
wonder,
brought just them in, and Franco happened to be on set somewhere.
Well, no, but I wonder if
Probably did a Neil Abute play or something.
if
as
they
well.
had like wrapped the movie.
He was in the Shape of Things.
No,
Yeah,
no, he
Franco
wasn't.
was.
No,
he was,
Paul-
he was
that
in the stage show, I believe.
Oh,
I think.
was he?
I think he was.
Gross.
But
Yeah.
this is after the Shape of Things.
Yeah.
So like he
Is
knew
it?
Neil Abute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
What year did this come out?
2006.
What year did Shape of Things come out?
The play was like the
That
early-
movie came out
late
in
90s, I think.
2006.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Acting in the original one, Edward Woodward
Edward Woodward
was great.
I thought he did great.
The Cop.
The cop, yeah. Who they named Nick Nick Cage Ed in the new one, and then the girl is
Rowan Woodward.
Woodward.
Right.
So they're like, a nod to you.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, I thought he was good. No, I thought he did a fine job until we get to the very end where he starts to
Really?
chew a little
When he
bit of
starts, when he
scenery.
starts singing.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's a
hymns,
man who's so like
he
so
believes he's a
desperate
martyr.
to believe that he will be right that he is just throwing everything to the
Yeah,
wind. you know?
Yeah, sure. For someone who's given a quite like naturalistic and understated performance for most of the movie.
Yeah.
He gets theatrical real fast.
Yeah.
I understand he's about to die and what
He's
the
being
stakes
tested,
are.
right?
Yeah, I get that, but it is the type of performance as opposed to the motivation of what he's doing. You know what I mean? It just feels too way over the top.
I don't know. I thought it was reserved.
Really?
I did,
Okay, well we can agree to disagree.
especially compared to Mr. Cage.
Well, I mean anything is reserved to compared to Mr. Cage.
Yeah, I thought he did a good performance overall. Like, and the overall shape of his character
Yeah.
is really important to that movie, and just like how he arrives, and you can tell like this is how he does it, how he performs it physically,
Yeah.
and delivering lines and stuff like that. Like you can tell he's rigid. He believes in honor and upright behaviors and all this kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Like it's really clearly indicated, I think.
I really wish that and this might have just been like a I don't know, directorial choice, but I wish that he had chosen to at some point just move the photo to his pocket
Right.
as opposed to his breast pocket.
All the time.
It takes 30 seconds for him to grab that photo every time he wants to take it out.
But that's good fucking stage business,
Oh,
man.
it's so fucking
And it's
distracting.
visible to the camera, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it almost looks like he's struggling because it's so much
I
like.
never noticed it.
Oh man,
I noticed it was a bit
stood out like a
ungainly at
sore
times,
thumb.
but it was fine.
Christopher Lee was delightful.
Yeah, I thought he was a
I thought he
quirky.
was-
His big funny hair.
Yeah, especially when he becomes the leader at the end. It's
Yeah.
very, very good.
I thought the other performances like Miss Rose.
I thought Miss Rose was actually okay. So two standouts for me in this movie: Miss Rose being one,
Yeah.
and the Gravekeeper, or
Oh yeah, him,
Yeah, the little parts were interesting.
I thought he was
Mr. McGregor,
Which one, Mr.
the bar owner.
Yeah, he was weird.
Yeah, he was
was
weird and kind of quirky.
I thought even his daughter did her part well. Her
Britt
weird
Eklund, yeah.
hippie naked dancing against the
Yep.
wall. Like sell that for us.
Hated that scene so much,
I loved it.
so
Of course you did.
fucking much.
It's a pivotal scene. He's being tempted. It's his
Okay.
last temptation.
Sure, except that he doesn't know she's naked on the other
But
side.
he can
he just hears her
sense
singing.
it.
I guess.
Dan, so
but you're
so-
reaching
so
a little bit.
Have you heard of how art sometimes tells stories in ways beyond the?
You
just-
take that sarcasm and shove it up your ass,
I think he was
Jack.
being very serious.
Okay, in a movie that doesn't have any other elements like that.
Fucking orgy in the churchyard.
No, but this ethereal concept that that she's like passing energy through the wall to him that he is susceptible to.
Yeah, it's also hard to tell if he's like dreaming or awake. Like it seems like they're also implied that it's like he's
very awake.
He's rock hard.
He is so
he's
hard.
definitely hard. He is lying face down in that mattress, like
Save it for God. Save it for God.
Save it for God.
Fuck God when I get up there.
and whether or not she's actually naked or that's his like projection of it, it's.
I think she's a sex vampire and she was trying to woo him through the wall.
A
That's my
succubus?
interpretation. Yeah, a succubus.
Oh, dude, see, that's a movie I'd watch. Sex vampires?
Sex vampires.
That's just all vampires.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess so.
They're
Yeah,
just inherently
guess.
sexy.
Damn.
They are sexy, right?
The whole thing, the penetrative bite and on the neck, which is very erotic.
Very erogenous.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the rabbit. No.
The rabbit did a good performance.
The dead rabbit.
But it's just some of the performances in the old movie were a bit. I don't know. Actually, no. I liked. In general, I even liked the quirky townspeople and how they. Yeah, in general, I was down with the movie.
Yeah.
I got down with the sickness of this one.
I started it at 9 a.m. this morning.
Ooh, fun.
Which I would have preferred to watch
both today.
I watched both today.
That's a lot of Wicker Man.
It was a really cool morning. I guess we're almost over. I looked up Edward Woodward just mostly because his name's very silly. One of those classically trained stars of the stage and screen of that era. But he's in Hot Fuzz. He plays the like town council, the member of the like the watch group or whatever.
Which one is he?
He's the one in the hat, and he watches all the videotapes, and he's the one at the end. He comes back with the shotgun, and he gets gunned down at the very end.
Is that him?
Yeah.
Oh, he looks very different.
He has he has like glasses on.
He's his glasses. He's a bit paunchy.
He looks like an old timey British.
Yeah.
I think. Okay.
I'll show you a picture of him in the
right.
break. Yeah.
Good job. Good. Yeah. What a fun catalog. Wicker Man, original, Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
Surprised he's still alive.
He might not be now.
No, he's not. No.
Hot Fuzz was how many years ago?
I think it was like 2006 or 7.
No way.
I think so, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's some perspective for you too, like made at the same time.
Yeah.
That's upsetting.
Whoa.
Yeah, Shaun of the Dead was like 2003 or 4, I think.
When are we gonna get some fucking Edgar Wright on this?
Anytime you want to throw one together.
It's tough though because he's not quite classic material, and none of his movies are really schlocky.
Well, yeah.
Can't be, yes, but like.
Yeah, not schlock.
I would argue that a lot of his movies are already considered like.
You could do
Shaun
Scott
of the
Pilgrim.
Dead, I guess, could be. Scott.
Shaun of the Dead for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, especially 2003. So almost
Something
20.
like that, yeah.
Almost
I don't know.
20 years ago, eh?
Yeah. for
Holy
sure.
shit.
Yeah, we'll all be dead soon. And with that, please enjoy some possible ads right here.
Are we recording?
Yeah, anyways, we're back.
Oh, motherfucker.
Welcome back from our ads. Hopefully, if you heard some good stuff, and maybe they're gonna start paying us at some point soon.
Yeah, $5.
Hey, yeah, we'll cash that $10 one of these days. Ooh boy.
Hey, a year,
Ooh,
2 years,
coffees
a year
all
and a
the
half
way
from now.
around. Fancy coffees for one of us.
But like not too fancy still.
No.
No,
so,
still drip coffee.
No, still like a drip. Yeah. So let's rate these movies.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, yeah, I got to do the thing.
Yeah, make your notes and your new,
God.
your
You write
new
down
little
so much
blue
stuff, Sean.
book.
I keep notes.
He's the archivist. Okay, so starting with
Sean would be the archivist in our group, eh?
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
He likes history.
That's
I
true.
do.
I mean,
I
you
do
also
like
like history. You're very well versed in history.
I don't know if I'd say I like it though, and not in the way like Sean actually knows
No,
history.
Sean gets off on history.
yeah.
Stop
You're-
watching me.
What's that?
Stop watching me.
No.
because I get off watching you get off on history.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
and that's what I need.
So you're my only OnlyFans subscriber.
Yeah. You're welcome for the hundreds of dollars I've sent you.
I charged you $10,000 for that video. Wow.
You do.
Coffee's on me.
Got nice feet though, man.
A nice what?
You got nice feet. So
So
these
story,
movies,
yeah. Again, the last the last movies were a debate. I don't know how much I'm going to debating these ones.
No debate.
My story vote goes for the classic.
Same.
It told an interesting story.
Yeah.
I was in it. I liked watching the movie.
Yep.
I thought I was going to be puttering around, and I sat and I watched the whole thing. I had a
Same.
nice time.
Same. Daniel?
Well, then it doesn't matter what I'm going to say. But I think that I want to separate the story from the execution of story.
No.
In this particular one,
No.
Because they essentially have the same storyline.
If I could have the plot separated from the plot.
No.
Say,
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's not what I'm saying.
Yep.
I think that there are certain plot adjustments that Neil LaBute makes in the new one that I appreciate. Whether or not they are executed well is another story.
Like what?
I like the removal of the Christian aspect of it, actually.
Oh, no.
Don't oh no me. Eat shit.
No.
What the fuck?
But it's, one's a movie and the other is puke.
Pardon me?
With the Christianity thing in the original, it makes it like a cohesive. There's a theme. There's a thesis to the
like
film.
Depth.
There's something to like take out of the film. In the new one, without it, there's just like
It makes it a more generic film, sure.
it's Tucker Carlson's like nightmare is what they have. Is like this like is what they're playing essentially. This utopia of women who only use like butchered men for breeding.
In California. And the
Sure.
cop
Or-
gets
or
hand
whatever,
words.
yeah.
You know what it is? I think honestly, I'm really hung up on. I mean, this is a moot point because I've already lost the round.
You lose.
But yeah, but the explanation for why they chose him specifically in the first one just feels so contrived. When you hear when you hear them actually explain it, and what is it? It's we needed a king-like virgin who plays the fool.
With the king, who is a messenger from the king, as a police officer.
No. That is how they justify it being him.
Yeah.
But like culturally, they need a king-like figure, and he is that because he's a representative of the king by law.
Yeah.
But it is a king-like figure a king-like virgin fool is what they say.
Yeah.
Which is it's so fucking muddy and murky. I feel like the new one where it's simpler. Which I appreciate.
No, it's not.
Yes,
not.
it is.
The new one is
we
the
need
one.
we need a stranger who is somehow connected to. Okay, when I say it out loud, it sounds kind of shitty.
Yeah, they're like, so we sent this woman into the world, my daughter, to play the part for many years, and then no, it's way contrived and fucking nonsense.
I didn't mind the contingency planning. The idea that
Get the fuck out of here. All right, moving on.
no, it's true though.
Fuck you.
That wasn't so far fetched for me. That
And in the new one, that means they've been doing this repeatedly over and over and over. If they're sending folk out, that means like their system is built on this kind of sacrifice. In the old one, it's just because suddenly the harvest got bad.
It's the first one.
It's the first time, and then he's like, if you think this is gonna stop, it's not going to. They're gonna come for you next. It's active. It does a thing.
But it doesn't mean that the culture is built on that type of sacrifice. It means that they are planning for the worst case scenario by having these people out in the world that are
They do it every
connected.
year.
Yeah, just in case.
Oh, man. Okay. Not writing your point down because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's fine. Fuck
Yeah.
you, Sean.
Yeah, you're wrong. So going.
I'm not wrong. I just have a differing opinion.
Art is subjective.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you can also be wrong too. It's, So.
You're a bitch. You're a bitch, Jack.
Second round. Production.
Wicker Man. No, the new one. 10,000% the new one.
Oh, the old
The new one. Production value is far higher. The score is less.
Let's take the
nauseating.
production value out of the production.
Production value
You can't-
isn't good. That isn't the same as like.
One. If it isn't, then what are we talking about?
Talking about
if it
how
isn't
it's
production
used.
value.
not like
Not
whether it
when
looks
the
pretty, but
yeah,
like
not
how
that the cameras
it
are
is
newer.
used to evoke.
No,
to like
this is what I'm
further the-
saying. I'm talking about in terms of cinematography, production design, cohesiveness of the overall vision of an aesthetic.
The
and tone.
cinematography was dog shit in the second
Oh,
one.
you can
It was
lick my
dog
ass.
It's
shit.
just
Yeah.
him like running down a path. Like I'm not sure what you're
Awkward out of focus
blocking is not
close-ups.
cinematography. What I'm saying is, you say all those close-ups.
Awkward out of focus close-ups.
That is one gripe I had.
Yeah, what the fuck?
There was a lot of
He's
out
terrible.
of focus shots. There's a lot of stuff. In the digital age, there's no excuse.
There's no excuse.
for that many out of focus shots. I will agree with you there. I still say the new one. I still
Jack.
say the new one.
No, the old one.
Okay. Oh, thank God. Okay.
And the,
Sorry, Dan.
Oh, thank God. You guys are fucking. Shut up, both of you, man.
One is a movie.
They are both movies. I wouldn't say either movie is particularly good. They're both movies.
Oh,
I think the first one's good.
yeah.
I think it's
See, I had a very different experience. I thought it had interesting elements.
yeah.
I wouldn't say that overall it was a good movie. There is a difference.
Do you remember the water in the second one? Do you remember the shots they kept going back to of the island with the CG water?
They
That
did that
looked like-
was
they
one
did it
time.
twice.
It was,
The first
and
time
it-
was the one that you liked the ring around the sun.
You saw the
was
the
that
moon
CG
dog.
water?
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
notice. I was
it
so
looks like
distracted
fluffy
by the-
clouds.
Yeah, okay. All right.
It's terrible.
Yeah, remember the fucking 14 shots of the plane going
do.
back and forth?
And it was beautiful.
No, it wasn't.
It was it
No,
was the Celtic landscape.
No, but it wasn't beautiful. It wasn't
No,
beautiful.
but it actually kind of was nice landscapes, and it was letting us know that it was far away. I'm just saying, like,
You guys make me want to bash my head against a brick wall sometimes. Okay, let's move on. What's next?
which supported telling the story more. That's how I rate things.
If we're talking about the fucking the landscape shots, neither.
Oh, neither of those are my main thing. They're both whatever to me. They're both pablum. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'd prefer real to CG cloud water.
Oh, yeah, that I do prefer.
Yeah.
Though.
Fight.
Are you telling me to fight you?
No.
You're the last one who spoke.
A weird element of the first movie is how they contrived the situation though that they were in this weird Goldilocks zone of the like fucking
Oh, the
outer
volcanic earth that yeah.
plus the something waters
Yeah.
caused warm
made
winds
it to be Jamaica.
yeah, that it could grow like tropical fruit
Yeah.
in like an island off of Scotland or whatever.
Yeah. You don't know, man. You don't know.
Yeah. So I thought that was a funny note that I did kind of let slip by. Okay, so acting.
Actung.
The first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the first one.
So
Although Nick Cage gets extra points, I think.
He does get
I
extra.
do give him some points.
Nice, terrible.
He's like, look, it's if the movie around him was living up, because I think he was playing this, doing at least trying to play the stakes of the supernatural
Sure,
thing,
but-
but it wasn't matched by the things around him.
Yeah.
So it was.
My problem with Nick Cage is that this is not for all movies, but in this movie, his performance is completely devoid of nuance, with the exception of maybe him depressed Nick Cage in like the second scene.
You want to come
sit down?
down?
Yeah, you want to sit down? Whatever.
No, I'm just taking some.
But otherwise, he has two speeds. He has I'm going to talk like this, or I'm going to talk like this, and that's it. Those are the two speeds:
Yeah.
yelling and not yelling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Again, I'm not giving him props. I gave him a bit of
Gave
props.
him points.
You gave
I
him
give him
points.
Not props.
I gave him
but
points.
how
too,
many
but
points
I
for
did
a
it
prop?
sarcastically.
Yeah, I think it's like 5 points to a prop,
points.
and I'm giving him like 2 to 3 points tops.
Right. Those are American points, not British points sterling.
Yes, correct.
Okay, great.
Yeah, no. So compared to points from the first movie, which were in that, again, we're talking really like 1 point.
Yeah, but with the exchange rate, they're about on par now, right?
Yeah, now.
Yeah.
So great. That means that the Citizen Kane of the week is.
Show the sergeant to his room, would you?
Much has been said of the strumpets of yore.
Of wenches and baldy house queens by the score, but I sing of the baggage that we all adore. The landlord's daughter, you'll never love another. Although she's not the kind of girl to take home to your mother.
The Wicker Man. The Wicker Man. The Wicker Man. The Wicker Man.
I would say they're both winners
In a way,
this week.
Super fun.
In a way, yes, I would say that as well. It's a fun. I would recommend watching both these movies like this.
Yeah. One is like get your buddies around to have a laugh at like some truly bizarre film, and the other is like, let's watch this orgy, this near softcore porn from the early 70s.
Okay, so let's but going back to our conversation earlier about does a great time in a movie make a great movie? Which movie did you honestly have a better time watching?
The first one.
Shut up, really?
Oh, yeah.
Honestly.
Okay,
well, I don't agree.
I think it was a little comparable. I think bolstered by the fact that I watched the Nick Cage one with you guys together. I think like I had a good time watching both. Like even like I was able to enjoy the like randomness of the newer one of Nick Cage just like running around fucking whipping masks off kids.
Yeah.
And being like, "Show me your face. Take off the mask." You know?
Listen, if I could only watch that the supercut of him hitting people, I would watch that forever for sure.
That does exist.
Oh yeah. I watched it. I will watch it forever.
Yeah.
Forever and ever.
So let's jump into our new sort of segment here.
Oh, yeah.
Which is where Citizen Kane being us versus the loser.
I still don't understand how we're versusing.
Because we're going at it. We're trying to tackle it to the ground and improve it, like in a boxing match. You know how you try to improve your opponent?
Yeah.
With a note here and a note there.
I think of it more of like we're the new girlfriend in the relationship, trying to like fix and improve.
Well, the new girlfriend is Ari Aster, and he made Midsommar, and that is how you improve it.
Yeah. Essentially, that's all I could think of the entire time I was watching both these films. Was this is essentially just a shitty version of Midsommar?
Yeah, just do Midsommar. Yeah, that is kind of how you.
How did you pronounce it?
Midsommar.
Midsommar?
Yeah. Oh, some Swedish word for like Virgin Spring Festival. You know.
Sounds like I would know. I've never been.
Never
looked it up. Never.
Have you seen?
Yeah.
Midsommar?
Yeah.
It's Midsommar.
Midsommar. It's a Midsommar.
It's Midsommar. Yeah, that's true. I guess we're kind of boned on this.
Yeah, when he put on the bear suit, I was like, "Oh, Midsommar."
Yeah, Midsommar.
Oh, Midsommar.
Oh, Midsommar.
Yes.
What's happening?
That really, it's true. It's that funny thing where like that movie fucking like knocks it out of the park.
Yeah,
with essentially the same kind of storyline.
I will say I think I would maybe put the original Wicker Man slightly above Midsommar, at least from a story perspective, because Wicker Man throws you the wild goose chase and then tries to pull a fast one on you at the end and be like, actually, it was him. That was the point. And Midsommar, you are like essentially 100% certain about what's going to happen at the end. It's just this like painstaking, agonizing, slow drip feed all the way to the horrifying end.
Yeah, it's
I
more like
forget a lot of Midsommar.
Yeah.
To say it differently.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't say
I know it ends with her essentially just like
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler alert. 7 years after the fact, she essentially like agrees to be like the queen of the pagan cult and like
she's the head of the
disowns her
harvest
friend.
or whatever. Yeah. Well, she
The
lets her
harvest
like
queen or whatever.
boyfriend character
Yeah.
be like burned in a bear suit, and she leaves. In a
She still goes back home,
I
right?
think she does. I
Yeah.
think she doesn't have to stay there, but she like accepts this role.
Yeah.
She like gets into it, and like it's like a purge. She's letting something go.
Yeah.
Right. But like fucked up shit happens all the way through.
Oh
the
yeah,
time there,
there's
right?
like guy
People
throws
just-
himself off the cliff, and then they have to get the head mallet out to finish him off.
Yeah, and like people
right.
disappear, and you know that they're being like disappeared, and you
Yeah.
see stuff. You definitely know. You don't know exactly how it's gonna all play out, but you have a feeling, and you just don't know how it will get to that place for sure. Yeah, but that's good. But without talking about Midsommar too much, let's. Okay, but if it's this movie, it's The Wicker
Right.
Man. It's that movie what do you do to make it better?
Well, we have to replace the lead actor. I think it has to be. I don't know about recast entirely.
I think a lot of recasting. I think if the bartender woman was
Kathy Bates.
was Kathy Bates.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1,000%.
And then make her role bigger and better.
Yep. Neil Bute's out. We get some like actual.
Denis Villeneuve.
Get to live in there.
No, but who? What is a director?
I would have
that,
preferred if fucking Shyamalan did this movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Honestly,
Well, Shyamalan did a similar movie called The
Village.
Village.
Yeah.
And that movie, I remember watching it when I was a kid and having my mind blown because I was like 10 or whatever, and like the twist element just fucking threw me for a loop. And got a rewatch, I'd probably be quite disappointed.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh yeah, okay.
Nothing's happening.
Yeah, exactly. It does have a Shyamalan-esque kind of quality to it.
Yeah.
But who is a director that could handle it better than Shyamalan? Like,
I don't know if I'd actually name someone. I think a lot of directors could. I think a generic director could have. You just pulled the.
did it come out?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Are we still recording? Ruh-roh. Yeah, we're good. I think we're good.
Maybe don't have it around your leg.
Yeah. Sorry, technical difficulties here.
Dan's trying to sabotage.
He lost.
I'm so upset with the results of this podcast.
Show you production value. Smash.
Yeah.
I think it's not even a director thing. I just think the story needs to be. I think they could get away from things like trying to have lines carry over. I agree with you, Dan, from the first movie. Just let all of those go. Mm-hmm. Let it be a retake on it for a different vibe. And you can, even if you take the Christianity out, whatever. But like, still give it. I think don't take out that whole vibe that it's about a dueling of ideologies. I think needs to be a part of it. And I think don't lose the part where it's like they are just like a quirky. It should seem like an idyllic town.
Yeah,
I think that's important. It should.
Yeah.
And they didn't do that in the second one. It seems like people would be like, "Yo, can you get me the fuck out of here?"
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't seem good. What seems good about it? Everyone is weird and hates each other.
I wouldn't mind seeing someone like Christian Bale in the lead role of this. Similar body type, far superior actor. Well, I mean similar like type, like similar appearance.
Mesomorph, you know.
Yeah, but like similar vibe. I mean, Christian Bale could just honestly just transform himself into Nick Cage and then just do it.
Yeah.
Tom Holland. I want
Tom Holland. I kind of want Wahlberg to do it. Oh no! Get Shyamalan.
No.
A Bruce Willis. This get any of those people in
Yo,
there.
honestly, Bruce Willis not like now Bruce Willis,
but like Bruce Willis, even 15 years ago when he's
yeah, Bruce Willis in 2006.
Yep.
I think that would be pretty good.
Oh yeah, I think there are a lot. I think there's a host of people you could recast.
And his ex-wife or ex-fiance would be what Amy Smart.
Amy Smart.
Amy Smart. You know, I don't know if she could pull off the nuance that's needed, but like, hey.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Who could?
And like if it's like Dream World casting, it's like Marion Cotillard.
Right.
And then it is Judi Dench.
Who's Marion Cotillard? Oh, Judi Dench as the sister Somerville or whatever the fuck her name
She
is.
could actually like make that work. And again, make that part bigger.
Yeah.
Don't do the weird thing where she's hidden for half the movie. Like just have her appear sooner and have her be a character.
It's about the same way along that the other Summer Isle. Lord Summer Isle.
But then he takes a big part.
Yeah. He takes the
about as big a part as she does.
Yeah, but he does things. He doesn't just wander forward.
He does do things. I think that you're right though in that they build the character, like the mythology of the character up so much that it feels anticlimactic when you meet her and you're like, oh, you're just kind of like a regular
this old lady.
Oh,
you're a prophet. You don't act like one.
Yeah. But just his relationships to the other characters in the first one feel more specific. Like they are like, you can tell that this person's kind of fine. This person, he's like feeling sexually confused about. I guess her name was also Willow, right?
Yeah.
The daughter.
The daughter in
the
the
daughter
other,
in the old one. Whereas in the new one, it's just like everyone's weird and they all hate him and he hates all of them.
Yes.
And it's just like so cool.
Yeah.
So when he started punching people, I was like, yeah.
Yeah. No kidding.
Why didn't you
There's
start
so much
with
hate
that?
on this island.
So, and like Miss Rose actually like does kind of talk to him.
That just makes me think if Nick Cage were replaced with Keanu Reeves as the Wicker Man.
Keanu.
Yeah.
I don't know. He can't play the big like yell like show me. It's Point Break Keanu, but he
Show me.
He seems past that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he's
seems past it.
Yeah, he doesn't do that anymore.
No, it's true. I guess so.
Yeah, and I think you just remove Neil LaBute and put a competent director, screenwriter
Slash
in there.
writer,
It's
yeah.
mainly that.
That's
Yeah,
mostly
that is the big problem, isn't it?
It's a. I'm not gonna be real here. It's like because it's also built on stuff that exists. It's a simple enough story to tell if you know what you're doing. I don't think you need an incredible script. I think you just need like a basic one, some decent characters,
And a vision.
and like a vision.
Yeah.
Just like execute the point of the movie and take out the weird Hollywood thing of like there has to be a dramatic crash explosion at the beginning for it to be a Hollywood movie bullshit with the truck. Like, that's
yeah.
all so annoying.
Yeah.
All the flashbacks are
I will
fucking
take
annoying.
a seaplane flying over the Scottish lowlands.
Yeah, that's fine enough.
I mean, I won't,
Yeah.
but
if the movie started with
Plebs
him
will.
on the seaplane, you'd be like, how'd he get there? How do you even?
first of all, is that your impression of me?
Oh, damn.
You're such a piece of shit.
Midsummer.
If it started with him on a seaplane, I'd say, how did he get there?
Yeah, that's my criticism of you right now.
I hate you both.
This
I
fucking
didn't
with
say
you.
anything.
I know you didn't, but you're just sitting there all fucking
Yeah, but you didn't
smug.
defend him.
Yeah, you didn't defend me.
That's worse.
The heck, I am the Nazi here. You know.
Whoa, that's a big leap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a separate thought from Sean.
I mean, I was
No.
thinking that, but I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know how it connects to what we're doing here. Anyways,
So essentially, just I think what we did get back to is do it more like Midsommar.
Yeah.
Midsommar.
Get Hiddleston in there. Shit.
Some Midsummer. Hidmid.
Yeah. Tom I'm not gonna.
Where are you going with that?
I was gonna try and do what Sean was doing and yes and that what he
Oh,
was
right,
doing and
right.
Thanks, but yeah, it's fine.
it's
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much.
Ooh, what if Florence Pugh? Maybe that's the carryover from Midsommar.
Right.
Florence Pugh and Christian
She'd be
Bale.
way better as Willow.
Fuck yeah, she
that'd be
would.
then she'd actually make that a part. That'd be a much better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cast actors is definitely a big one. have relationships between those actors. Part 2, and then after that,
That's
you're
the other
probably doing okay.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, don't make it more pleasant. That'll make your creepy moments feel creepier.
Yeah.
If you make everyone mischievous all the time, when something comes up, we're like, well, yeah, you're all fucking
Yeah, obviously,
creepy.
this is
Yeah,
clearly a
duh.
creepy town.
Yeah. And they didn't even do anything that creepy.
No.
It was creepier
They did
in
cut
the
a
first
dude's.
one.
They did cut a dude's hands off and replace them with wicker sticks.
Yeah, and
For
that
a
was
half
so
second.
like that was all of a sudden creepy. I was like, you didn't show me anything else other creepy
Hey,
thing.
And why
there
was he
was-
left on the beach? Why wasn't he like
Hidden somewhere.
like tied to
Did
a
you
tree,
attend
like
to
on a figure?
Did you attend to the business at the harbor front?
Oh yes. Let's just say I've taken a hands-on approach to it.
the worst was that conversation. They were just being like, ah, yes, the harvest will be good this year. Yes, I think it will, sister. Sister, I think you are right. It will be good. Did you attend to the business down at the harbor front?
Your sweetener,
Fuck off. You're terrible.
you know.
Anyways,
Fucking stupid.
What are we watching next week, guys?
So next week, what's the first movie, Sean? It's
Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead for Halloween, a classic.
That's
spooky
the original,
zombie.
to be clear.
The OG, not the
The
remake.
OG DOTD.
George Romero.
Yeah, .D, they call it. Yeah, so we're watching that versus Chopping Mall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll require some context probably in the next one.
The link is actually shopping malls.
What?
That's the connective tissue.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What? Sean, we talked about this.
Yeah, yeah.
So tune in next episode for that. Mm-hmm. In the meantime, have have a good rest of your October until Halloween. Feel free to tell your friends about this podcast and like.
Please do that.
Yeah.
Please
that
do
thing.
it. Do that thing. Like, subscribe.
Just play it. Yeah, like and subscribe, but mainly just like play it in the room when you have other people around.
Yeah.
And then be like, oh my god, are my headphones
Even if
on?"
they ask us to, even if they ask you to stop or change
Turn it up.
drown them out with.
Turn
Yeah.
it up.
Yeah.
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 We will not be silenced.
Or we will come for you with the bees.
Not the bees. Also, what was with the naked chick sitting in a chair covered in bees?
They needed some creepy, sexy thing.
And also, it seemed like they were stuck on the first movie, being like, not to mention her weird queen bee bedroom.
Yeah.
That made sense to me.
They just suddenly jumped into a bunch of strong imagery that I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
hey, you know what would have been cool? That in the movie sooner.
Yeah, like like earning these moments right now.
Where it's like suddenly there's like a special hallway with bee doors and bee rooms and a bee bed. And I'm like, okay.
Okay, you love your bees.
Whereas like it would have been better if like he walks into the tavern and the walls are white and they have golden windows. Like, and it is this weird, like pseudo pastoral
Yeah.
fucking thing. Like, yeah, make a choice. Instead, it was like, yeah,
Be bold.
bee. The little bee costumes were so stupid.
They were cute.
I liked also, last thought, I liked the sword head chopping.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get why it was happening, but I still liked it. That they were like,
What?
chop. It's a game of chance, fool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, was the idea that they might actually chop someone's head off and they just happened to not because it was a kid?
I think it's like that. There's a specific person who
Plays the part
plays the part of the person who is decapitated, so they wear the false head.
Oh,
And
because
when
everyone
it gets to them, shing.
right, but
Yeah.
because everyone seems shocked and then relieved.
Yeah,
when
it's
they-
just direction, I think.
I guess, but
Yeah.
it confused me. I was like,
It seems
could
like they're
someone have
just-
actually died
they're
there?
playing the part of the festival, feels
Yeah.
like.
I guess.
They're good actors.
I guess. Dance,
Should-
boy.
Should have hired them for the Wicker Man.
Alrighty. Thanks so much. See you next up. Love you. Say love you.
I love you.
Say it like you mean it.
I love you. Now you, Sean. Now you say it like you mean it.
That's stupid. Okay, bye. Bing ding.